Hi, everybody. It's saying that I have low internet. So let me just watch this on my channel and see if. See if okay, it looks like it's working and not too blurry. Okay, it looks like it's working and not too blurry. Okay, it looks like it's working. All right. Let me just set up here. So I am going to just talk about a few different topics. This is a health and fitness channel. So I talk about health and fitness and all things related to health and fitness. And so I want to go over a few different things that are coming up in terms of health and fitness, obesity, society. I like to talk about the psychology behind health and fitness and obesity and all of that. So we're going to get into that today. Let me just log on. I think I'm going to get on, hop on TikTok live and just make sure that make sure that one's live too. Yeah, I don't have the best. Apparently, I don't have the best internet here, but that's fine. Whatever. Okay, so just make sure we're live everywhere we need to be. Okay, so we are going to talk about today. I want to talk about two things, and if I have time, I'll just add on the Jonathan Majors topic, just because it's hilarious. But I wanted to talk about this first article that came out about Wegovy and Ozempic. And before, if you think that I'm going to come on here and just like bash people who are taking Wegovy and Ozempic, that's not what I'm about to do. I have clients who are on Wegovy and Ozempic, and so I understand why some, and they're on them for different reasons. Some of them are diabetic and they need to just get their weight down immediately. Some of them are have PCOS, and so they're, this is something that's working for them while they manage their weight. So I'm not going to come on here and bash people who are using Wegovy or Ozempic, but I think this is important to know. And I'm going to share with my YouTube channel, but there is an article that just came out about what happens when you come off of Ozempic and Wegovy. And we sort of kind of predicted this in the fitness industry, but it's nice to know that there's some studies to back it up. So the title says patients on Ozempic or Wegovy eat more calories after stopping medication than they did prior to taking the drug. Um, and so survey finds. Uh-oh. Let me see if I can get on this one. So I anticipated this was going to happen. And the reason is because I have clients who are on, and I could see how this would happen. So let's read through the rest of the article. I'm going to guess why this is the case, but maybe the article will tell us why it's the case. Just make sure I hop on it again. My computer's frozen. It does not like this conversation. Maybe YouTube doesn't like it. It doesn't like that I'm talking about this. Okay, so 1 in 5 patients currently on weight loss medications reported eating more. This goes against the drug's mechanism, which is meant to suppress appetite. That's actually wrong. The drug is supposed to suppress your appetite when you're on it. It is not supposed to suppress it afterwards. That's like kind of silly. A survey by Deutsche Bank polled 600 Americans, that's a small sample size, and who were linked to drugs such as Ozempic or Wegovy, and they found that 30% of those who stopped taking them reported eating a lot more or a little more than they did before taking the drugs. These findings are another sign that for many patients, these drugs are for life. There have been reports of rapid weight gain as well as among former users. Okay. Let's see. Okay, they just go into how the drug works. So let me tell you guys what we know about Ozempic and Wegovy. We know that they work for suppressing appetite. I have a few clients who are taking, but I'll talk about 2 of them in particular who are taking Wegovy and Ozempic. It's working for them, which I'm really happy for because there is some despair associated with like trying to lose weight, right? Like that can be a very challenging process for a lot of people because you guys understand if you're on my page, you know me, you know that when you lose weight, especially if you're much bigger, there's a lot of trauma associated with being that big. That means that some things have happened in your life and you haven't been taught how to manage your emotions outside of food. So it can be really tough to both deal with the trauma of life and try and lose weight because you have to do both. Like hardly anybody really gets that done. So what I found with the clients that I do know is that Wegovy and Ozempic work. They are eating very, very small amounts. I have to push them to eat protein because we know that when you stop eating protein, your body will eat itself essentially, right? It will start to eat what up the muscle because your body needs muscle. If you do not eat enough protein and you're not lifting, then you actually start losing muscle on Wegovy and Ozempic purely because it's really, really hard to get enough calories. It is hard. My clients have said to me, they're like, I'm not really hungry, coach. Like I don't know what to do. And so I said, liquid calories are easier to consume. We're looking at ways to increase their protein via protein shake and via, yogurt and things that just require you to chew because the process of eating is laborious on Wegovy and Ozempic, according to the clients that I've worked with. So we know that it works, right? The problem is that they're not hungry. The problem is that they're actually turning off their natural hormones that let them know when it's time to eat. And unfortunately, you need those hormones in order to be healthy. So it's really, really hard to like tone up and really eat what you need to eat when you're on these drugs. Now, for a bigger person, it's interesting because one could argue that, well, they already have extra weight. They don't really need to eat that much. The problem is that you're losing muscle while you're on these drugs. So that's number one. So I'm going to guess that the article doesn't really go into why you eat more after you are on these drugs, but here's what my guess. My guess is that three things happen. Number one, because the drug is now gone, your body just returns to its natural hunger hormones and overcompensates. It's like you were dieting without feeling the effects of dieting. So your body compensates for having to eat, having eaten less. So that makes total sense that if you've been eating like a toddler, like some of these people are barely eating 1,000 calories. So if you've been eating like a toddler for, let's say people are on Wegovy or Ozempic for 6 months, it makes sense that you would overcompensate because your body's like, hey, we haven't been eating, we're just going to overcompensate. And if you come off of that drug without doing some sort of like slow process, yeah, your body's going to go, oh, we've been starving. Let's drive up that hunger, drive it up so we can make up for the fact that we haven't been eating enough. So this is just one reason why patients are eating more calories after they come off of the drug. The second thing is if you do the drug and then you don't get the proper therapy that you need and the proper coaching that you need around food and like how food works and how to diet without dieting like a crazy person and how to maintain your weight, you just simply don't have the skills needed to be healthy. So it makes sense that you would gain weight afterwards because you just simply return to your old habits. What I'm seeing is a lot of people who are on Wegovy and Ozempic, when they come to me, I'm like, okay, even though you're on Ozempic and Wegovy, we still need to eat like healthy people. When you are hungry, we still need to eat like healthy people. That means we need to train our bodies to want carbs, proteins, and fats and vegetables. And we need to train our bodies to eat balanced meals. And we still need to train our bodies to exercise. So my assumption is that the reason why people are gaining weight when they're coming off of these drugs is that they simply never learned the healthy habits. their lifestyle. And that is the sad part about this. That is the sad part, because we're telling people we have a fix, but what we have is a patch. And so if someone ever wants to come off, they can't. When they come off, they will gain the weight. A 2022 study in the Journal of Diabetics, Obesity, and Metabolism, for example, reported that patients who took semaglutide for 68 weeks lost an average of 17.3% of their body weight. When they stopped the treatment, they regained 11.6% of their lost weight by week 120, resulting in a net weight loss of just under 6% body fat. And Dr. Anya Jastreboff, an obesity expert at Yale University, told people, if you have a patient who has high blood pressure, they have hypertension, and you start them on an antihypertensive medication and their blood pressure improves, what would happen if you stop that medication? Well, depending on the patient, my friend, you would have taught them the lifestyle factors for how to reduce their blood pressure, provided that it was not genetic. Same thing with, it's like, and this is, I think this is what I'm getting at. Our society is such a reactive society, and we're not a preventative society. So what you should do is, yes, you put them on the hypertension medication, right? Because we want to solve the immediate danger of being having high blood pressure. Same thing for Wegovy and Ozempic. Yes, you want to solve the immediate problem of them being obese. Then what do? What's the appropriate response? The appropriate response is then to say, okay, now that we got that under control, let's dig up the root problem. And the root problem is y'all don't know how to eat properly, and y'all don't know how to exercise properly, and y'all have some trauma. And that's okay. A lot of people have that. But let's deal with that as you're on your hypertension medication, as you're on Wegovy and Ozempic. And then when it's time, let's slowly taper you off, so that your body doesn't have an extreme reaction to coming off of Wegovy and Ozempic. So that your blood pressure doesn't go back up because you started eating, pizza and French fries and burgers and, a bunch of cheese and carbs and fat and all the stuff that wasn't good for you. And you stopped exercising and you stopped lifting weights. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is not surprising that people are gaining weight after they come off of Ozempic and Wegovy. What did y'all expect? Like, did we expect for it to just, if we don't change the fundamental habits, this is what happens. What's interesting, you guys, is my surgeon, I think I talked about this before, but I had a minor surgery, and I told my surgeon that I was a health and fitness coach, and we started talking about Wegovy and Ozempic. And of course, he does surgeries of all kinds. So he does plastic surgery. He does, I was having something done for my ear. And so we started talking about it. And he said, the problem with these drugs is that these people never learn the habits. So they're on them for life. They are on them for life. And it's very similar to people who go back and forth to get plastic surgery, because they think that the plastic surgery is going to solve the problem of them hating themselves. And fixing your outside never addresses the inside. And so the same thing goes for things like Wegovy and Ozempic. If you don't deal with the inside, then they're great for just getting you to where you want to be, albeit there's some danger. But if you really want to come off of these, you're going to have to do the work anyway. And so I think that things like Ozempic and Wegovy are best paired with strong, comprehensive, not only therapy, but food mindset coaching and strong trauma, like possibly PTSD style therapy. Because the kind of person who eats that much has a lot of stuff that they're trying to cover up. The kind of person that needs that much hoarding of food has a lot of pain that they're trying to soothe. And we have to be honest about that part, right? We got to be honest about that. So that was the first topic. If you guys have questions, you can leave them in the comment section if you guys have questions about Wegovy and Ozempic, or working with a coach while you're on Wegovy and Ozempic. I have to look at my YouTube channel has people in there, so I'm like, oh, I gotta look at those. Okay. Oopsies. Next topic. My Southwest Airlines is rewarding people who are obese with a free seat. One of my favorite things to talk about is psychology and weight loss, and psychology and obesity, and psychology and trauma and obesity. And I have some thoughts on this. I have some thoughts. So, when did I fly to Florida? I flew to Florida in March of 2022. Yes, flew to Florida in March of 2022. It was a red-eye flight. I was next to a gentleman who was probably maybe 300 to 400 pounds. I was in the middle seat. No, I was on the edge. I was on the outside. I was in an aisle seat and I was trying to sleep because it was an overnight flight. But his girth was encroaching on my seat. And I wasn't going to say anything like, people are who they are. Like, I don't really like, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to be like, you need to, like, I was like, whatever. I was like, worst idea ever. But I was like, whatever. So it's about 2:00 in the morning, and the stewardess, flight attendant, I feel like I'm from the 1970s. The flight attendant moves me to business class, and she goes, I'm really sorry. Let me move you so you can sleep. And I was very grateful, and I was very thankful. So, Southwest Airlines has a customer of size policy. Customers who encroach upon any part of the neighboring seats may proactively purchase the needed number of seats prior to travel to ensure the seat is available. This is not the right one. If it's determined, here we go. You may contact us for a refund of the cost of additional seating after travel. If it's determined that a second or third seat are needed, you'll be accommodated with a complimentary additional seat. So essentially, Southwest Airlines says, if you are obese, or if you're your body size, you're encroaching on the seat of another person, we will give you a free seat. Now, I think a lot of people are outraged by this because it's like, wow, airline seats are so expensive. They are so expensive. And all someone has to do is be obese and they get 2 seats to themselves. And so I can understand the outrage. I can understand it. And let me just talk to you from like a health and fitness psychology perspective. If society rewards you for a behavior, even though they don't intend to reward you for a behavior, like giving you a free seat because you're obese, they subconsciously support that behavior, right? There are no consequences to not being able to sit in a seat, because before you would have to purchase 2 seats, right? And that's why people would purchase 1. So I could see why people are upset, because myself, just like the story I just told, I was sitting in a seat and I'm like, I'm pretty small. And so he was in half of my seat. Half of my seat. He was in half of my seat. So I'm like, okay, on the one hand, it saves other customers the discomfort of having, someone larger encroaching on your seat. So that's a good thing for someone like me. On the other hand, from a psychological perspective, the question is, what are we teaching society? What are we promoting? Because here's the thing. We know, if you guys took an economics class, you know this. Our society basically promotes whatever the behavior they want to promote by giving people free stuff, by giving money, by doing whatever they do, right? This is another form of promoting certain behavior. So there is no consequence to being larger. In fact, you get rewarded. You get a free seat. So my concern with this is not necessarily that this person's getting a free seat. It's that we no longer have standards for, why is an airline seat the way an airline seat is made? It's because it's like the average person. It's, for all sorts of factors. It's the weight, the height of the airplane, it's all this stuff, right? So the average, we need to account for the average person, not the exception to the rule. And my proposition is that Southwest Airlines says we will give you this free seat, and if you lose weight, lose enough weight to get into a normal size seat, we will give you a free trip. That is my solution to it. Because if you're going to incentivize people to stay a weight at the same weight, you should incentivize them to do the opposite behavior as well. Right? That's just like common psychology. If you lose this weight and you can fit into a seat within a year, not only will we give you, you get to keep your free seat or whatever, but we'll give you an additional one as a reward for being able to fit in, a seat. So I think there's other ways to make this a bit more fair and just, because right now, giving someone who is larger the benefit of having two seats, when I would love to lay down on two seats, but I only don't get it because I'm fit. And I only don't get it because I'm healthy. Like, what are we teaching society when we tell them, hey, you get a free seat because you're obese, but meanwhile, everybody else has to suffer and be squeezed, scrunched into their seats, but you get the privilege of having, because most people are not taking up two seats. They're taking up one seat and maybe like a quarter or a half. So you get two full seats, you get a whole range, you can lay your feet out, and I have to stay in one seat by myself. I don't know. I'm not into it. I don't like it. I'm not into it. I think it's kind of messed up. I don't know. You guys are going to have to leave a comment and see what you guys think. What do you guys think over here? Oh, hold on. This is my hair lady. Hi, Sessin.
Thank you for the answer. God bless you. I have cancellation today. Do you come now?
No, because I don't live down there anymore.
Oh, you moved already.
I moved, yeah. So I won't. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, but I'll try and get there. I'll. You know what I'll do? I'll take out my hair tonight. I'll do it.
Today?
Yeah, no. I'll do it. I'll take it out tonight, and that way tomorrow you could just do the braids.
Don't worry. I think I'll for you. No problem.
Okay.
I don't have any problem about that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
See you tomorrow, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay, sweetheart.
Okay. God bless you. Bye. She's literally my favorite person. If your hairstylist does not ask you if you love Jesus, like, do you even have a hairstylist? Yes. So I was talking about the fact that Southwest Airlines will give you a free seat if you are too large to fit into one seat. So you pay for the two seats and then they reimburse you later. And I was just saying a better policy would be to give them the seat and then say, hey, if you lose weight and you actually fit into one seat by this time next year, we will give you a flight to anywhere you want where Southwest flies. How about that? And then we incentivize people in society to do the right thing, You incentivize people to do the right thing. I don't like when people try and request my lives. That's weird. Okay, so I think that was that on this topic. Oh, I'm here. I wanted to talk about the program, the newest program that I'm doing, which is on anti-inflammatory diets, supplements, lifestyle habits. So if you're someone who is experiencing indigestion, if you're experiencing headaches, if you're getting rashes on your face, if you're fatigued, if you feel like your fingers are puffy, if you your joints are aching, These are all signs of possible inflammation. And so we're going to be talking about the, you know, 25 different ways you can reduce inflammation naturally. And then we're going to talk about some supplements that you can use. And I'll be giving out a nutrition and workout plan for you. If you are interested in that, that will be loaded up to the portal. So it's all online. So what it is it is an anti-inflammatory blueprint. So it's how to live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. We're doing 8 weeks of classes. So every Monday at, I think right now it's set at 4:30. Every Monday at 4:30, we are going to be doing live classes going over each topic. So how to reduce inflammation. How are the things in your home increasing your inflammation? What are some habits you can incorporate to immediately reduce inflammation and see results like this week? Well, we start on the 15th. So I will leave a link in the description box here on this video for how to join that for those of you who are on YouTube. We are starting on the 15th, so I'll probably close registration the same day because sometimes I get last minute signups for those things. And then you will have lifetime access to that course. So basically, it becomes a library for you. There's all kinds of resources in there. Right now, I just put in the supplements, there's habits and lifestyle traits. The workout will be going up this weekend. So you can start to kind of get into the material before we start the class. And then we'll be doing some education for the next 8 weeks in that class. So if that's something you're interested in, it is less than the price of my monthly coaching for 8 weeks. I will put that in the description box. I don't even know how to find. I don't think I'm still learning how to do everything. Let's see if I can get it up. Yeah, so we put that in the description box, and then we will, there it is. We're going to be starting that on Monday. So that's it, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And let me just, I need to put this in the chat, and then I'll put it in the description box. All right, you guys. I was going to talk about Jonathan Majors, but I'm like so annoyed with him. I just think that he's so corny. Like, maybe I'll get off of here and then do a separate live stream on him. He is so corny, and just like the whole Coretta Scott King. And I'm like, do you guys know what she did? Do you guys understand the kind of stuff that she put up with to be Martin Luther King's wife? Like, to use her as an example, it's like, yeah, that's probably exactly what you want, is someone who's going to turn a blind eye to your shenanigans. No, that is weird. Stop. All right, you guys, I'm gonna hop off of here, and if I feel like coming back on and talking about Jonathan Majors, I will. All right, you guys, have a good day.